Hi everyone, I'm Julie Osborne and this is Toto, and we're so excited to begin this walk on water journey together. And so grab your books because we are digging into week 1. And I did an overview on the book, and so if you didn't have a chance to see it, you can check it out on YouTube right here, and it explains the organization of the book and what the topics are in it. And so we are going to dive right in. I'm opening my book to week 1, day 1. So just to tell you a little bit about the book, is it's organized across this walk on water story found in Matthew 14. And so each of the verses in that story will be an anchor verse for the week. And it's amazing how God laid this story out and how the themes really are a microcosm of the Christian walk. And today we are starting with a great word, and it is send, because God sends us out into his world. And his last words, the Great Commission, when he was ascending into heaven, was go make disciples. So this word go is Jesus sending us out. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And our verse is Matthew 14:22, and it is immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. And so right before, I always like to understand the context. So right before this walk on water story, Jesus fed 5,000 plus people with a couple of loaves and fish from a little boy. And so you think they would take a little break, but Jesus immediately sent the disciples ahead of him. And so there's always a plan and a purpose with Jesus. He's very intentional. And we'll find out next week why he stayed behind to take some time with the Lord to pray. But today we are talking about send. And so Jesus sent his disciples out. And so that is what week 1, day 1 is all about. That verse and how Jesus sends us out, just like he sends his disciples out. And so I'm sure you'll enjoy that day. But day 2, it gets a little difficult because in this story, Jesus sends his disciples out in Matthew 10:16 through 17 like sheep among wolves. And so sometimes we're sent into difficult, dangerous situations. It's not going to be easy. John 16:33 is one of my favorite verses, and it says, in this world you will have trouble. Not you might, you could, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And so there will be trouble, and trouble comes on day 2 this week when the disciples are sent out. Day 3, I love it because it's about Moses, and he says, send someone else. Have you ever felt ill-equipped or like God picked the wrong person? Like, don't send me, I can't do this. That is the story of Moses. And so we'll see how this reluctant prophet, as the story, I think I have another devotion later, unfolds, what happens to Moses. And he becomes a great leader, but he was reluctant. He didn't want to go. And so often we don't want to go where God is sending us. But again, he sends us with a plan and a purpose. And then day 5, day 4 is Philip. And he's incredible. Kind of the opposite of Moses. He just went. And where did he go? Out into the middle of the desert. And God had a divine appointment with an Ethiopian eunuch who was curious and wanted to learn more. And so Philip was right there in the perfect time and placement. God is positioning us, just like he positioned Philip in the middle of that desert. Love the story of Philip. And then on day 5, I had to talk about Abraham because he is the father of faith in the Bible in Genesis. And it says in Genesis 12:1 through 3, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. So he had no idea where he was going. But this is the covenant, the covenantal promise that God made through Abraham. And so he went, and he said he'll be blessed, and he'll make his name great, and he'll be a blessing. He says, I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all people on earth will be blessed through you. That's Genesis 12:1 through 3. By the way, I am reading from the NIV, the New International Version of the Bible. There's many Bible versions. I actually did a video on the differences. Some are closer to the original text of the Greek and Hebrew. But whatever your Bible, just know what you're reading. But if you want to learn more about Bible translations, I have a video on YouTube you can click on right here. So just a little side note. So I love this story about Abraham. And then day 6 is our time to reflect and take a step. So this devotion is intentionally written in little pieces and little bits of the Bible each day to give you some manageable things to really pray on and reflect on. Our goal is always to let the Bible get through us, not to get through the Bible, to race through it. We want it to get through us. And so this 6th day is a great day to stop, reflect, and there's some additional questions there about taking your next step. We don't know what lies ahead. We just know we just need to take that next step. And so that is week 1. And so God is sending us out too, is sending you with a plan and a purpose. And so I hope that this chapter, this week on send, helps you to really reflect on where God is sending you and with what purpose. So have a great week, and I look forward to our next week, week 2, on pray. Jesus, the first thing he did after he sent the disciples is he stopped to reconnect with his Father. So stay tuned. Bye-bye.